As we look to the water now, Manny, semi-final 1 of the trials have started. And it is all happening. The people already, so what we've got a situation where 9 people from the trials will qualify into the main event. Those 9 people have been decided. So let me quickly run through those.
Yes.
We have Thomas Rigby from Australia, Silvano Lourenço from Portugal, Mitch Rawlins from Australia, Joe Clark from Australia. But up and riding, we have Mitch.
Yes, Mitch Rawlins in the yellow jersey. This guy's amazing out here. Just look at this, starting off with a giant roll coming out onto the flat water in the channel. Great start for Mitch Rawlins. Today, the conditions are calling for that one big move. If you get 2 big solid moves, and out the back, more live action. Who was that?
I did not see who that was. I just saw the orange slick of the board flying through. May have been Joe Clark in blue. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it must have been
the Portuguese in white.
The white.
Yeah.
Lourenço. We just saw the
This guy's amazing out here. Just look at this,
Mitch
starting
Rawlins,
off with a giant roll coming out.
Hello, Seamus Mackham from the water angle. Good to see you. What a great shot to start the webcast, Manny.
Yes, Seamus Mackham will be in the water. We've seen him last year just hanging out in the channel when these big bombs are coming through. He'll be giving us the live view from the ocean. And you know what? Keep an eye on your screen because he's going to be bringing us some unreal shots. So where are we at?
Well, I said we're in the semi-final. I was running through the list of who has already qualified. So 9 people from the trials. We had a field of 64 in the trials, Manny. Big field. It's whittled down to the final 8. The people who have qualified, again, we had Tom Rigby, we had Silvano Lourenço, Mitch Rawlins from Australia, Joe Clark from Australia, also qualifying. Andrew Lester, the comeback kid from Australia. He's through to the semi-final and through into the main event. Hugo Pinheiro, we'll get back to the GQS title chase shortly.
He's in the run.
But also we had Ariam Cabrera, the local man. He qualified through. And Sergio Alonso just pipped the Supergrom, Maxime Castillo. You can see them walking back up there. And it's George Humphreys. He did amazingly well. Young kid from Australia, made it all the way through to the quarterfinals.
We got action out the back. The rider in white, yes, Silvano Lourenço. Again, today's conditions, 3 to 4 foot. One big maneuver can get you through the heat, but if you get 2 big maneuvers on one wave, that's for sure high-scoring waves. The conditions are here. I was out there taking photos yesterday. It was a little bigger than this, and let me tell you, it's scary out there. The reef is there's no mercy.
Yeah, definitely, Manny. Already in the quarterfinals of the trials this morning, we've seen some big moves going down, and there's some 4-foot, 6-foot sets coming through. The wind switched offshore, so that you're going to see performance bodyboarding. And what better way to, decide the Global Qualifying Series race, and then we're going to go straight into round 1 for round 1 of the Grand Slam. It looks like Joe Clark's paddling into this one, Manny, in blue.
All right, Joe Clark. Looks like the riders are opting for the rights. Look at this section building up for him. And he goes nice invert right there. Lands kind of high on top of the wave. Kind of forces his way back onto the water. He knows that he needs to go back out there and get a higher scoring wave. But he's got something on his scorecard in the first few minutes of this 20-minute heat.
Yeah, Manny, look, it's an interesting one. There's a number of scenarios here in the semi-finals. Tom Rigby's probably the man with most to ride for. What we've got Tom Rigby. He cannot better his qualifying score, but he's sitting in 7th position on the GQS rankings. The top 8 from the GQS after this event go through and join the top 16 from the Grand Slam Series to qualify for the new top 24 of the Grand Slam Series for 2012.
That's what all the riders are going for. If you're seated in the main event in the 2012 World Tour, you're styling. You are just waiting in the leaderboard rounds and waiting for all the trialists to come in and compete against you. But again, they're still going for those top 8 seats still available on that 24 seed for next year's tour.
Most definitely, Manny. And 6 people are already safe. So you've got 6 people through the qualifying series. Keep in mind, there's been over 12 qualifying events over the year. We've had, I think, close to 500 people in total compete in the qualifying series. So, as you said, these are highly sought-after positions. 6 people are already safe. And how you qualify, there you have Andrew Lester preparing for his semi-final. We'll get to Andrew Lester's scenario shortly. There's Pierre. He's in the world title race. We'll get to that shortly. But let's go back to Alex Uranga, Chase O'Leary, Sam Bennett, Mitch Rawlins, Ure Martinez, and Roberto Bruno. have already qualified
They're
for
locked
the
in.
2012 top 24. Lester's there pumping his fist. He knows what he needs to do to join those 6. And what that is, Manny, is in 7th position you have Thomas Rigby. In 8th position you have Adam Morley. And then in 9th and 10th you have 2 people still in the trials. You have Andrew Lester from Australia and Hugo Pinheiro from Portugal. Hugo needs to at least get a 2nd place finish in the final. So he needs to make it through his semi-final and finish at least 2nd or 1st preferably. He's into the top 8, hence onto the top 24 for 2012. Andrew Lester, he can finish 3rd in the final, but he must make the final and finish 3rd. The interesting scenario is Thomas Rigby, Joe Clark again on the little one.
All right, Joe Clark looking for that little section, banking a hard carve reverse off the top, a reverse 360 off the top for Joe Clark. Go ahead, keep talking what you were talking about.
Yeah, look, sorry, man. There's so much happening, and
Yes.
there's so much on the line here, and it's going to take us a while to settle into this and bring the viewers up to speed.
Yeah.
But let's just again back to Thomas Rigby sitting in 7th place. He is pure aim here now. He's already qualified for the main event. Is to block Andrew Lester and Hugo Pinheiro from finishing 2nd and 3rd in the main event. The sad thing for Rigby is he can still win the final and they can come 2nd or 3rd. So he really can't stop it. But he's the only one who could really mix things up. So he sits in 7th. So he does not want Lester and Hugo to make it through to the final and finish in the top 3. If that happens, he's out the back door. And so he can still qualify through the main event via his very strong performance in the Grand Slam series already. But let's not complicate things. So that's where we're at. But let's have a score update, Manny. 5 minutes gone.
Well, 5 minutes already into this 20-minute heat where the top 2 waves will be scored. 5 minutes have already gone by, and Thomas Rigby, who is in that hot position, well, here he comes on this one, Thomas Rigby. Sorry, I was looking at the score sheet, our monitors on this side, but nice scoring wave. I was just gonna say.
And up, Mitch Rawlins.
Oh my!
Is he going to ride out of that, Manny? It's a lot of wash there. He's fighting. Can he fight out the top? No, but that was a massive reverse. Oh, it's
Look at this
Joe
section.
Clark.
Joe Clark, big section coming out.
Whoa.
A big invert right there. This is the perfect bodyboarding wave. The guys love to hit the lip, get airborne, and as you can see in these last few wave exchanges, that's what this wave does. It just throws a giant section at you as you're taking off, and you can do any move imaginable, and these guys are loving it.
Oh, definitely, man. You're going to see some amazing riding go down over the next week. So we've got the world title decider happening, but these guys in the water now, these guys are world class. And you just saw Mitch Rawlins. He went for this might be the replay here, man. Who we got? That was the back end of the replay. He busted a big air spin off the lip as the section hit him. He did not quite ride through, and the judges have only gave him a 3.0. Here it is.
Mitch Rawlins' big air reverse 360, as you can see, perfectly rotation and landed. If he pulled it off, kicks in front and lands and pushes out in front of the whitewash, that score will be deemed complete. But unfortunately, he got the boost, he got the reverse, he got the rotation, but he landed in the explosion and could not pull it off. So that is an incomplete move and will be scored accordingly. So Mitch Rawlins, he can definitely throw it out on the line, but he has to pull off these maneuvers. Joe Clark can do the same as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And look, it says Joe Clark's here there, he's smiling. Again, I guess he's just out there tuning his skills for the main event, because there's not, like, he's already through. I'm sure he's just trying to get his timing down. But these are competitive guys. They want to make it to the final. They want to win. So, look, Joe Clark. But the score update, Mitch Rawlins still in 1st position. He's on 9.25. Silvano Lourenço on an 8.5. Joe Clark, 6.85. And Thomas Rigby currently in 4th position with just the one ride of a 4.15.
All right, Joe Clark in the blue jersey paddling now. He only needs a 4.65 in the next 13 minutes to get into that 2nd place spot, or a 5.41 to jump into 1st place. Thomas Rigby looking for a 4.36 for 2nd, or a 5.11 for 1st place. He's only got that one wave. Here he is. Thomas Rigby pulls in deep behind the section. Is he going to come out? Oh, no. He gets popped out the back, and Thomas Rigby pulling in and holding on, but cannot come out of that long, streaking, right-handed freight train barrel.
Yeah, look, it looked promising, and the swell direction's a little bit shifty at the moment, Manny. The swell's coming from a couple of directions, so you'll see waves. You've got to pick the right one, and Now these guys have been practicing. They've already had a quarterfinal out here this morning, but it all comes down to picking the right wave, like it wherever you are. But if you get the right wave, Manny, you're going to get a wedge in 4 to 6 foot section to hit, and anything's possible. So that's the exciting thing. And and here's the guys you've got coming in the next one: Ariam Cabrera, local man, Diego's brother, I understand.
Oh, nice. So here
he is Diego Cabrera from the top, up and running. Joe Clark pulls in.
Trying to look for that section, and it's not working out for him. He's getting a lot of waves, but all these waves are being scored low, so he might have to slow it down a bit and wait for a nice, clean section where he can bust big, which Joe Clark can obviously do.
Yeah, for sure, man. Speaking to a lot of the locals here over the last week or so, they all seem to have a similar strategy. They all say you've got to keep busy at this wave. You can be served anything, so you've just, don't just sit there and wait for the big set, because the set mightn't come where you're sitting. Keep busy, get active, and I think that's the secret. So you'd be interested to see the different strategies, but that's what Mitch Rawlins is doing, and he's having a look at that. He's had 2 scores, but Joe Clark, he's had 4 waves now. Unfortunately, the highest scoring wave is a 3.85, but he's keeping busy, and his time will come. And here goes Mitch Rawlins, just on a little one. He just lets that one go, Manny.
Well, lucky for us, the winds have been very active for the past few days through the trials and even before we showed up. As you can see out in the lineup right now, little glassy, a lot more tame as far as the winds are concerned. We would love bigger swell, but you know what? What we have right now is good enough for what we can, good enough to compete in. So we're running today live from El Fronton on the island of Gran Canaria. The sun is out, the wind is mellow, the riders are underway. This is semifinal heat number 1 out in the water.
Yeah, no, most definitely, Manny. And look, so the wind's turning off, swung around to the offshore, and I think we're going to have a good day of competition. We're sort of hugging the higher tide here, so the tide will build, and it will make the lefts a little bit more makeable, I think, as we progress into the final round of the trials and into the main event. And then as we get into the later rounds of round 1 of the main event, we'll probably see the tide dropping again and back onto the rights. But primarily the rights have been the high scoring waves so far here today. But some people have picked off the lefts. There seemed to be a little bit of a paddle battle going here. Joe Clark looking at the right, and he'll take this.
All right, Joe Clark finding the section and goes for another nice big invert right there. So Joe Clark, will he pull out in front of the whitewash? Standing by, cameras looking for him. There he is. So he will be scored for a completed move on that invert from Joe Clark.
Yeah, look, man, he needs a 4.65 to jump into second place and hence qualify into the final of the trials. It'll be interesting to see that, likely to be enough on that wave to do that. Still 9 minutes to go, so it's probably not a high enough score for him to be safe, but it's definitely going to better his 3.85, which was his previous highest score. So Joe Clark building, as we said, being active, getting lots of waves, building his score. I think he's surfing very smart.
Again, welcome everybody. Oh, look at this, live action, and up and out for Silvano Lourenço. Again, welcome everybody. This is the IBA 2011 NMD Pride Stealth Fronton Pro, brought to you by our webcast partner, Grand Flavor. This is it, the last stop on the tour, and I'm really excited. This wave is, a lot of the riders are saying this is their favorite wave on the planet, and you can see why. Look at that section just coming across right on your monitor. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. All these guys are stoked to be able to know that you are watching. Jared Houston, Ryan Hardy, Jeff Hubbard, and Maxime Castillo, the French kid, should not be shaking his head. He did very well in the trials, and he is definitely one to look for coming out of France as far as the new young guns are concerned.
Oh, Manny, I saw him in the contest area this morning. He rides amazing, but he's a kid. Yeah. I almost was going to kick him out. Come on, no kids allowed in here. And he grabbed his board and he was in the main event. So, amazing talent coming from France. We remember one of the contenders for the world title, Pierre-Louis Costes, was a super grom as well. At that age, was really making an impact on the world bodyboarding scene. And it's great to see another generation coming through. Pierre, 5 years ago, he was the super grom. Everyone thought had all the potential. He's now 21 years of age. He's here at El Fronton, which he will openly say is his favourite wave in the world.
Yep.
In contention for a world title.
That's freaking big news. And look at this big section coming in for Thomas Rigby. Big backflip right there. Thomas Rigby, that's what he needed. He needed to open the floodgates right now. This wave is going to be phenomenal as the waves and swell come in. But Thomas Rigby putting together a nice, Clean backflip right there on that giant section. That thing just formed up right in front of him, and he kept his eyes on the prize at the end of that tunnel. Great way for Rigos.
Yeah, most definitely. And we've got Joe Clark pulling under the lip here. Can he make it out? It pinches a little bit on the right. He's come out. That's great. Spins out of there. He's in second place, trying to better a 3.85. So that will most definitely do that. And hopefully we can catch a replay of Thomas Rigby's last wave, because that was, you know, he timed that perfectly. As you said, the section came across, hit it nicely, nice loop-in flip. And look, he was only trying to better a 1.85. So there's no doubt he'll do that. And good chance. You know, he needs a 5.3 to jump into first position. So every chance he'll do that. Keep in mind, Tom Rigby, he's here to block Andrew Lester and Hugo Pinheiro in the final if they get there. So Tom Rigby, he wants to get in the final. He wants to upset these other guys. So it is a very important for him. But Mitch Rawlins been a little bit quiet. Looking at that one, he started off with a flurry, but you can sense his frustration. Yeah. So he's doing very well.
The wave you're looking at right now, El Fronton. Back when I was in high school, I would daydream a lot, and I would draw a wave.
Yeah.
And when I came to El Fronton last year, I can't believe those little drawings I used to do on my notebook and on my little, the paper scratching away. It was real, and it's here. This is El Fronton. It's the perfect bodyboarding wave, A-framing at times, and just having these big old sections coming at you like this.
Oh, this was that Tom Rigby flip. It said, look at this building. You can
Look
see
at
the
this
section
section.
coming. His timing's perfectly up and just bang, and then it said, nice looping flip.
Giant. That was huge, man.
Slaps it down, whips it back around. 6.5 was dropped for that. That's moved Thomas Rigby into first position with a combined score of 10.65. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, he'd be happy with that. But you know, when you got guys like Mitch Rawlins sitting in third place, only needing a 4.41 to jump into the lead, I don't think he's comfortable yet.
There's the next heat making their way out through the keyhole. The riders have to actually walk down this little ledgy cliff. There are some stairs on the way down, and then they got to jump off of the reef. As you got to walk out on the reef and then jump off the reef into the water and make your way out. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to the 2011 IBA NMD Pride Stealth Fronton Pro. And here is where we're at.
Yeah, as I said, 4.5 minutes to go, Manny. You've got Thomas Rigby from Australia in first position with a 10.65. Joe Clark, also from Australia, in the blue. He has a combined score of 9.45. Mitch Rawlins said to be a little bit quiet. He's opened up with a strong 6.25 wave, but he needs a 3.2 to jump into second place. And then you have the Portuguese action is Silvano, but look, there's Mitch Rawlins. We just got the back end of that, and it didn't look like it all worked for him. But he needs a 3.2, man. He to jump into second. So I didn't see the start of that wave, but maybe it was enough. But Joe Clark, bang!
Nice. Again, the left-handers and the right-handers both have sections coming at you. It's just a matter of your timing and what you're going to do on that maneuver. On that section. And Joe Clark piecing together a nice piece of work right there in the last few minutes of this heat. He's sitting on a 9.45, so he's looking for that 5.81 to get into that first place spot. Top two riders are advancing on to the final. These are 20-minute heats. Top two waves are being scored. This is semifinal heat number 1 out in the water.
Yeah, we're in semifinal 2. As I said, we had 64 competitors going through, starting in the trials, or trying to get the valuable 9 places available in the trials. We know the 9 qualifiers, they're decided. So now it really comes down to, everyone wants to win the race, but it really comes down to who is going to qualify for the top 8 of the GQS series, the Global Qualifying Series. But we have someone up and riding. Bang!
Oh, nice. Mitch Rawlins at the last few minutes, putting something together right there. Mitch Rawlins going for an invert right there. So he knows time is winding down. He's trying to get something. He's looking for that 3.95 to get into the final, or into the second place spot and get knocked into the final. Could be it. Mitch Rawlins looking for 3-point live action.
The Portuguese man, Silvano Lourenço, nice ARS there. Nice angle from behind the peak. But you can see he's looking for it to build up, but unfortunately not. Look, he needs a 6.16, Manny, to jump into second place.
I don't think that wave did it for him. And that's it.
Mate, I don't know. It's going to be tight. I'm not sure if Riggers got on that in time. I don't think the buzzer had sounded. But look, he's waiting, but we're waiting for the white score to drop, Manny. He needs a 6.16 to displace Riggers from the final. I think you're right. You maybe got a call in there as a judge.
We're still waiting for that one.
Waiting.
Yeah, waiting for that one more score from white. Silvano Lourenço from Portugal. Yeah, but I don't think it was it. I don't think that was high enough score. And it looks like Mitch Rawlins coming in at the last few minutes here and pulling off the win in this semifinal number 1. And Thomas Rigby in second. So Riggo's still in the blocking position.
Yeah, most definitely. They're through to the final. So Mitch Rawlins and Tom Rigby through to the final, which is great.